Welcome to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, MadMikeWillEatU. My co-host, KyleHeath. This is the show where we cover the last week gaming industry-related news. We're talking esports and personalities, general gaming industry news, technology innovation, and new and upcoming games. Kyle, what have you been up to this last week?
Oh man, Mike, it's been a lot of Cyberpunk. I cannot lie to you.
Dude, that's all I see you on, man. Like,
literally,
every time I look at Discord, it just says KyleHeath over here playing Cyberpunk 2077.
What can I say, man? I'm enjoying the game. I'm back in. I started the DLC, so kind of trucking through some of that.
Very nice.
Played a decent amount of it, but at the same time, like playing the DLC, it's nice because this like the DLC is just a part of Night City, essentially, like the world. So you can kind of come and go as you please after like the first kind of opening bit. So that's pretty nice. You can kind of just come and go freely. So I've been doing other like side quests too. On top of that, like trying to get my gear up, and then I'm just like shredding everything now. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, and so I'm just going through that and doing some of the DLC. I've been enjoying it though, man. It's been good to jump back in. I think about like 32 hours, something like that. Something crazy, bro. Like,
jeez, man.
Like over the past like, week and a half. So yeah, it's been a grind, but it's been fun. It's been nice to have like a good game to just kind of chill out and play. It's been enjoyable. So that's like really the only game I think I've like touched this past week. Honestly, it's just really Cyberpunk, but enjoying every second of it.
I totally get that, man. Yeah, I've been playing Rocket League still, which is what I've been playing for the last like 2 weeks. Still haven't gotten back to champ level. I'm now Division 3, Diamond 3, Division 4. So really all I need is like 2 consecutive wins and then I get to champ. I'll probably do that later tonight and take a break from Rocket League for a while. But in the meantime, man, I've been playing a whole bunch of Counter-Strike 2. And that's what the jersey is, right? It's from the Clone major that they did in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just been playing a bunch of Counter-Strike, been open up cases, trying to see if I can win any like the what's it called? Knife skins and stuff, like getting some rare items out of it, some valuable items.
Doppler, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to get something, anything. I got like a nice sniper, but I mean, it's worth like $15. So, whatever. We'll just keep playing, have fun, and try to get back to that mouse and keyboard grind, man. I was getting the hang of it with Overwatch for a while, and then I just stopped playing and went back to Halo. I was playing on like the OG console and stuff. You got to stay consistent with mouse and keyboard, I feel like.
Yeah.
At least with like games. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's yeah, you need that consistency, but I think it's also like it's one of those things, it's a grind, dude. So it's hard to get back into it if you haven't done it in a while.
Yeah. I need to mix up my variety right now though. Like doing only 2 games, I gotta switch up. I think there are a couple of games that are coming out in October, this month, that we can kind of get to and mention that I would think would be really interesting. One of them in particular is Forza. I think it'd be pretty cool to check out.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh show, yeah. I did get a lot to look forward to.
You know what's funny is our first article. If I should have thought about this, I should have put on my actual headset to make it work. But I'll let you go ahead and get started on the first article for us.
It'd be fitting because it is in fact new SteelSeries hardware. I feel like it's been a little while since I've seen much stuff out of the SteelSeries cam. I think that's partially a good thing though, because their stuff is just so good, like their headsets and everything.
I think the last thing we really covered with them was the wireless SteelSeries headphones, like right when it came out, where they can have 2 Bluetooth connections.
Yeah, like
simultaneously,
the Nova or something like that. It's called.
Yeah,
Nova
that was
Pro.
the last one we actually got to check out. I think it was Nova Pro.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that, Well, this is actually kind of in the other space, really. So, SteelSeries is actually entering the gaming microphone market with Alias. And it's an interesting design. Pulled this article from The Verge. Tom Warren wrote about it, the GOAT. Understand? So the Alias and Alias Pro microphones are backed by SteelSeries' impressive sonar software that's designed for gamers and streamers. Tom Warren is a big fan of SteelSeries gaming headsets over the years, but he's always paired them with a dedicated XLR microphone for improved quality, When he games with friends in Discord, hops on Zoom calls for work, or occasionally streams on Twitch. I think that's, I think for most people, it's like you try to find a. I certainly wouldn't turn to like, a SteelSeries or something like that. Like initially, I probably it's more, like the blue and microphones, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now SteelSeries is filling the gap in its gaming lineup of accessories today with the new Alias and Alias Pro microphones designed with gamers and streamers in mind. Both of SteelSeries' new microphones are a first for the company, with a pill-shaped design that nests into a sturdy stand or attaches to a boom arm. Both use a custom 1-inch condenser capsule that's bigger than what we expected seeing a gamer-focused microphone, combined with a cardioid pattern. There's a lot of words right there, right? But essentially, I mean, you got a nice big capsule. It's gonna be able to capture everything. The cardioid pattern, that's a pretty typical pattern for a lot of like condenser style microphones. So it's kind of just like the front of the microphone is like where it really picks everything up, and it's kind of hard to pick up stuff elsewhere. But yeah, I have to say that this design is pretty. I think it's pretty sleek. Like I like how it looks at just like the pill. Like I feel like we haven't really seen a microphone like this, especially in the gaming space. So I will say, design wise, it definitely sticks out. The $180 Alias connects over USB and offers gain control at the front, alongside a mute button and an assortment of LEDs that can provide level monitoring. There's RGB lighting too, because every gamer needs customizable colors on their microphone. I mean, just pull up the picture real quick and kind of take a look. I mean, got the nice pill. It's got a nice little stand, a little shock absorbing stand, it looks like. And then, their little kind of, this is a very basic sort of like interface, I feel like, for the actual mic, of just like, a volume knob. It's literally two knobs, mic mute button, and then a full mute button kind of thing. So probably like a press to mute, full on mute, but $108. So the $329, it's a big price point. Alias Pro is a significant step up, removing the onboard controllers in favor of a dedicated XLR stream mixer, a control station that sits on your desk. It takes the XLR microphone connections from the Alias Pro and adds a preamp, plus 48 volts of phantom power, and two USB-C ports. One is enough for a single PC setup. The second can be used by streamers with a dual PC setup to connect to both a streaming PC and gaming PC. The XLR stream mixer also offers a convenient mic mute button, gain control, and a customizable dial that you can pair to your headset volume. There's even an additional mute button that you can customize to mute the audio channels found in SteelSeries Sonar software. Okay, very, very interesting. I didn't suspect that was probably like a volume knob in general, but that's actually pretty cool. So you can like pair it up with their software and just kind of have a physical knob.
That is like a really good idea. I like the aspect of doing the dual PC setup for the streamers. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something I think it's something that a lot of these I think don't put into account. But I mean, they're definitely trying to like not only adhere to like the basic kind of setup, but also like if you're trying to go all out, want a 2 PC setup to get the nice looking gameplay, then that's probably this could be one that could work well. So it's cool to see that. But Tom Warren has actually been trying out the Alias Pro for over this weekend, and he's impressed with what SteelSeries offers here. Wasn't initially a fan of the Sonar knob when it was a requirement at the launch of the Nova Pro wireless headset, but he's come to love it in the recent months. Sonar is really where these microphones shine compared to their competition. Yeah, I mean, I think Tom Warren especially, but I think most people have probably toyed around with Voicemeeter. If you have like a XLR setup, that's kind of like the go-to software. Go XLR has like the Wave XLR, and Elgato kind of has their whole interface for audio stuff. Sonar software offers multiple audio channels, and you can easily drag and drop your apps into wherever you want them to output. SteelSeries does all the work of forcing Windows to comply, and it turns a complicated audio setup into a really simple process. It also has an AI-powered noise cancellation feature for the microphone, which is similar to NVIDIA's Broadcast app. It's great at removing everything but your voice from conversations, so your barking dog or the construction workers nearby aren't picked up at all. Okay, got a little AI noise noise stuff. It's really cool to see. See that. I've been using the noise cancellation feature on the Sonar for months now. paired with the Shure SM7B and Wave XLR to record podcasts and YouTube videos, occasional stream on Twitch. Tom Warren finds it's a reliable tool, stops him from needing to re-record audio if someone if someone decides to run into the room and try and play ball. Little dog. But yeah, SteelSeries XLR stream mixer is a star of the Alias Pro, and it's far superior to Elgato's Wave XLR, whereas the Wave XLR sits there lifeless on his desk. The XLR stream mixer offers an easy way to see your microphone is picking up your voice and clear LED indicators for when you're on mute or when you've muted a particular audio channel. You can even customize the colors and brightness levels of the LEDs. So it's super clear to see what's muted and how your gain is set. The only downside of the XLR stream mixer is that it requires power from a wall socket. So if you want to use it on a laptop, USB-C isn't enough. So, I feel like that's probably the case with a lot of these, like especially higher end ones. It's kind of you need to have a second source of power almost.
It seems to be the case.
It's not just like USB on bus. I know, like I have a Go XLR Mini, and that's just USB, plug it in, you're good to go. But fortunately not the case for a lot of them. But if you need to draw a lot of power, it is a requirement. And yeah, so I think the article kind of goes into a little more detail about kind of comparisons and everything, across the different Elgato setups and stuff like that, and shows off some of the onboard controls for the USB version of the mic. Yeah, it's available today. That USB version is 180. The Alias Pro is 330 right now. And that's it. SteelSeries has a boom arm you can attach them to now. That's $100. That's, I think, a boom arm at $100 is pretty that's kind of standard. I think standard, for kind of what I have the I forgot the name of this thing, but it's like for my other mic, I have like the Rode kind of PS1.
Oh, the Rode mic,
yeah, which is pretty standard.
I got a Rode. I think I have a tenor is what it's called, but I think it actually broke, and this is a different one that I pulled from Amazon. It doesn't have any labels on it, but yeah. You got to be careful when you buy a boom arm, because
no, especially
you get what you pay for, man.
Yeah, you really do. I've had this Rode arm. This was like, I'm pretty sure it was $100 arm, but I've had it for 4 going on 5 years now, and it's been fine. So yeah, you really do, man. And especially if you want a bigger arm that's efficient. I think it's one like the Rode is probably the one to go with, but it seems like SteelSeries could be kind of up in the game a little bit in that department. I don't know, like Mike, what do you think? Another mic, another arm. What are you feeling about another entry into this microphone space?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's always good to have more competition come in, especially with a brand like SteelSeries. Their headphones are pretty awesome, and their mics that go with the headphones, they're okay. They're not bad, but it's good to see them try to get into the mic game, because hopefully that also improves their headset mics. Just a little bit. There are just a couple of seeing more options is pretty cool. Seeing AI being a part of this should be the standard going forward, I think, for all brands. And I really don't think the price is all that bad, to be honest. Like, how much is a Go XLR? Just the Go XLR without buying the mics? Like $300 or something by itself.
The regular Go XLR, I think, is like 400 or something like that. And then the Go XLR Mini, I think, was like 200, 250 or something like that. So it may have been 500. I'm trying to remember. The Go XLR is definitely an expensive device. I know there's a lot.
400. Oh my goodness, it's $580.
Yeah, I think it's probably not like retail. It's probably just marked up. But yeah, it's but the Go XLR is, I'm not gonna get too crazy into it, but there's there's a lot of stuff in that Go XLR, not just kind of. Oh, yeah. One of the things is it's got
very simplified.
Yeah, it's got like 4 different channels. Like, it's got a whole like sound system, so you can play sounds. It's got like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. It's got motorized faders, which sounds like not much, but like it's a lot to get those. It takes a lot of power to get faders to move kind of automatically and stuff like that. So, there's a decent amount of stuff going on in that, which is why it's so expensive. And for the most part, it's good. I think sometimes my biggest complaint about Go XLR stuff is like their software. I feel like is starting to kind of like it's starting to kind of cause problems, because like there's not really that many updates for it now. The team's kind of disbanded that made it, so it's like I feel like as Windows probably pushes more updates, it may get more and more kind of bug ridden, and that's kind of concerning. But I mean, other than that, it's a solid device. I think for the most part. But I mean, I don't know. It's cool to see SteelSeries come out with something. This could be a potential other option.
Yeah, I
looking at
think
some.
it's the fact that it's an XLR microphone is pretty sick, and I like the style, man. It looks cool. It really looks cool.
Yeah,
I very much like to see how it all kind of plays out when you start getting tech YouTubers picking this up. Shoot, maybe some of like our favorite tech YouTubers have already used it and compared it.
yeah,
So that's definitely something to check out. Get some hands-on experience and like try to show the difference in mic quality between competitors around the same price range.
yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely the biggest thing going for it. But interesting stuff. SteelSeries making. Like, I mean, they make good headsets. I think it may
They
actually
really
be
do. Yeah. And
entry
they
in the
up
mic game.
their they've been improving their software.
Oh
I've
yeah,
noticed it just from the headset side of things, just like more and more customizability. I mean, you saw it earlier when I was getting for like one of our episodes where we were dressed up for the Panthers start of the season,
yeah,
and like I changed the colors and stuff to match the Panthers. So just trying to get
yeah,
excited.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
little things like that are fun.
It's cool. Yeah, it seems like there's like underglow too to the almost like an underglow to the actual like the mixer kind of. It's kind of cool to see. Um, yeah, it's
That's very true. Yeah,
I don't
looks
know.
sick.
I'll be interested to hear more. It's one of those things like it's become a market, especially microphones and cameras and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of becoming more and more of a more people are trying to join it kind of thing. But um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I think should be interesting to see what still series comes out and just dominates. Dare I say?
We will definitely keep an eye on it. That's for sure.
You know who's not dominating right now though, Mike?
That would be Twitch.
Oof.
So it's this is one of the new articles I think that we've not new articles, but new like I guess publishers, news sources that I don't think
Yeah,
we've ever covered them before. Destructoid,
yeah.
James Hurd out there has no title. Got to give this man a title. I
Yeah.
assume the writer.
Hey, writer.
But basically, I feel like the last few episodes of the pod we've been talking about how there's just been layoffs, and it's only a matter of time until it keeps hitting harder and harder and harder. And this is obviously one of them. There are other ones that happen. If you remember, there's a couple of studios that I saw that were in the news this week with some major layoffs. But we're talking about Twitch. So Twitch reportedly hit with more layoffs. And the latest in a string of whirlwind layoffs in the games and games adjacent industry, it appears there have been another round of layoffs at Twitch, according to today's off streams Zach Bussey. Is it Bussey or Bussy?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't
On
know.
Twitter. So he is going to TwitchCon Vegas, which is really just around the corner. That is 2 weeks away. TwitchCon is.
It is. Oh my gosh.
It's which is
Oh
why this is
man.
wild. So Zach tweeted out, he goes, "It appears there's another round of layoffs at Twitch today." So that's what he wrote. Sounds like there's another round of layoffs at Twitch today. In a reply to this tweet, he clarifies this round is significantly smaller than the first, referring to an earlier round of layoffs this past March that affected 9,000 Amazon employees, over 400 of which were roles at Twitch, according to a report at gamingindustry.biz. It's an opportune time for not only those affected, but also for Twitch. Oh, inopportune. Sorry. Opportune makes it sound like that. Yeah. Okay. It's an inopportune, which will be hosting its semi-annual TwitchCon at the end of the month. According to GameIndustry.biz, an unnamed source said these layoffs were mostly affecting the customer experience organization and were a result of the company shifting towards an outsourcing business model to fulfill these roles. But what do you think the customer experience organization means?
It's a
What
very good
are
question.
Twitch's only customers are advertisers,
I mean, yeah, if
right?
you think about it, yeah. I mean that and maybe
Yeah.
like
Because it's
viewers,
not
I
the
guess.
streamers.
I mean, it's not the
It's
streamers.
not the
Maybe like the
no, it's
viewers.
definitely
I mean, you buying bits. I mean, buying subs.
uh, I
Gotta give them
guess
some.
so.
Gotta give them
Yeah, I
something.
guess so.
You gotta take half that cut. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
Got
Okay.
to.
All right, let's continue on with this real quick. And it says he continues. Gamingindustry.biz continues saying, given the uncertainty uncertain economy in which we reside and the uncertainty that exists in the near future, we have chosen to be more streamlined in our costs and headcount, said the Amazon CEO Andy Jassy in response to the first round of layoffs in March. So Jassy took over as CEO from Jeff Bezos in 2021. These layoffs come as the next in long line of industry shakeups, with layoffs at Epic Games, which cracked down on freaking everybody, it seemed like. Studios associated with Embracer Group, such as Beamdog, Crystal Dynamics, and Gearbox Publishing, Team 17, Naughty Dog, and BioWare, just to name a few.
It's everywhere, bro. It's everywhere.
Dude, everybody. And like, if you scroll a little bit further down, right off next one, Naughty Dog reportedly hit with layoffs. It's like, this just keeps happening, dude. Team 17 looks to be hit by layoffs as CEO departs company. Bro, how do you feel about all of this going on, man?
Yeah,
These layoffs.
Yeah, it just goes to prove kind of, I guess, where the economy's at, right? Kind of how how things are going right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I mean, the fact that Twitch has hit even more, certainly not a good thing, but it's you know, but at the same time, it's like I feel like kind of the discussions we've had, you know, throughout kind of especially the last couple of years about kind of Twitch and where the platform's heading and kind of what it looks like. And I almost say it's not a surprise that they're finding ways to still cut jobs. But I mean, especially I mean, you were even talking about it too. I mean, we're talking about the customer experience organization. I mean, like it seems like
the advertisers, because they don't care about the viewers, really.
I mean, yeah, it's I mean, they certainly take a huge cut of, you know, a lot of that stuff, you know, that the viewers and stuff are spending for the streamers. So it's interesting to see, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of not surprised by it, but also like it's like I feel like the more we get into it, it's like how many employees like does Twitch actually have? You know, like I feel like I mean
12.
it's obviously, you know, a decent, like, you know, I feel like it's got to be an adequate size, but at the same time, it's like, you know, from what the features and stuff that they push out on a yearly basis, it seems like it's not like a major team, or there's not just too much it could be very I don't know, what would I say, unimaginative, I don't know. Something like that, like uninspired maybe. It's just not, yeah, I mean, uninspired is probably the best word for it, because, you know, we wanted a TikTok clip system, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so give people something to scroll on, you know.
There's so many things I can think of that Twitch needs that I've given up on them in a way.
I mean, yeah.
Like, there's so many things that needs to have done, and it has like more to do with, I guess, the customer experience, if we want to say the viewer experience, and even the advertisers. The advertisers are getting screwed over too, because they can't really dictate where their ads are going to for like which streamer. It's not really targeted because Twitch is, I don't know, man. I've just watched too many Devin Nash videos to the point that like I could just regurgitate all the reasons why he points out like certain like why Twitch is so broken.
Yeah.
And I basically can only simplify it to, it's just a way for Amazon to push their Amazon Prime subscription. You know, it's like a leading loss average or something like that. There's a marketing term for it where it's like they have no intentions on Twitch being profitable. It's just about making Twitch popular enough that people sign up for Amazon Prime, which is the most profitable thing about Amazon.
Yeah.
So
certainly is, you know.
yeah,
So,
I mean, that's my take.
Yeah, I think it's a fair take. Certainly much to be desired, but I don't know, the fact that there's more layoffs, I can't say I'm super surprised, you know, to a certain extent. So
yeah, I mean, it's just, this is gonna be the theme of 2023, man. Going into 2024, just layoffs everywhere. It's gonna be tough.
You know, I laugh, but it's like, I mean, you know, it's obviously unfortunate, and it's, you know, just kind of the reality. I think we're all sad that more and more people are starting to face, especially, you know, going into this year, next year. So it's a sucky time, but I think it may be the reality for at least a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Shall we talk about Fortnite?
I guess, yeah, let's just switch it up entirely to what are the most popular games ever made?
Fortnite? Yeah, I got this from Eurogamer. Eurogamer, I think, is another we don't really use much. Similar.
Oh, we used them a few times. I think
Yeah,
we
a
used
few
them
times.
last week. It's usually about when it comes to Eurogamer, we're really talking about them during the Activision Blizzard acquisition, and they were covering the UK side of things and what was going on for the European Union on their, I guess, government like what am I trying to say here? Government proceedings, I guess. Hearings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we talk about some in-game stuff for Fortnite. This little bit, kind of outside of the government realm. Although it's kind of like, I mean, I say that, but it's kind of it falls within guidelines, right? I mean, it's like
Yeah, kind of.
it's sort of kind of the same. Anyway, Fortnite is actually mandating individual age ratings for all content starting in November, as it evolves into multi-game ecosystem. So this is from Matt Wales, by the way, Eurogamer. Epic has announced it's introducing individual age ratings for all playable first and third party content in Fortnite as part of what it calls its evolution into a multi game ecosystem. Third party developed content in Fortnite has become an interesting focus for Epic in recent times, and the company introduced its Unreal Editor for Fortnite tools, also known as Creative 2.0, back in March. God, that was back in March. God, it seems like that was like, what? It
That
seemed
feels
like
so
2
long
years
ago,
ago.
bro. Yeah, I know, right?
Like, what? All right, anyway,
Completely forgot.
these enable creators to bring fully fledged Unreal Editor experiences into Fortnite, complete with custom assets, animations, audio, and advanced VFX. VFX effects. See what that's kind of like.
Video effects. Yeah.
Video.
That's
I
how
forget what
that
VFX
right
stands for.
there, bro. That is how I feel when you and everybody else says SMH. Shake my head. That's how that
I say that
feels,
as a meme, all right? Like I know
dude.
what I'm
It
doing, all right?
tilts me every time you say it,
I
dude.
do it as a meme. That's the only
Triggers.
reason I do it. I
You
know,
hit me with
yeah.
that like every other
It's
day.
so
I
funny.
swear.
Oh man. I think it's funny, um, in a bid to turn the game into a creator-led platform closer to the likes of Roblox. And now, as its multi-game ecosystem ambitions grow, Epic has announced it'll be making age ratings mandatory for all first and third-party playable experiences in Fortnite as of the 14th of November in 2023. So, a month and a half away.
Okay.
Age ratings in Fortnite will utilize the process established by the International Age Rating Coalition, requiring creators to submit a questionnaire detailing the content of their experience starting on the 16th of October. Using the provided answers, the IARC will then automatically assign the appropriate region-specific age ratings from the likes of PEGI, ESRB, USK, and ACB are all supported, alongside any relevant content descriptors. Participating rating authorities can then modify these assigned ratings based on their own review of the published experience, should they wish to do so. Quote, by implementing the IARC rating system within Fortnite, Epic continues to evaluate its commitment to providing families with tools to make informed decisions about which experiences are appropriate for their children. ESRB president and IARC chairperson Patricia Vance said in a statement, as Fortnite evolves from its Battle Royale roots into a broader ecosystem containing a variety of content from Epic and other creators, it's especially important that parents have a clear understanding of what their children want to access. I think I think it's pretty fair,
Dude, I I don't know how to react. So so there are two things either going on, right? Either one, which I think is definitely the case, right? They're basically covering their butts for people making games and stuff in their game. So like things could be adult rated content that anybody can make. You don't want kids to see that. Great idea. Makes a ton of sense. But also, is Fortnite pivoting to become a game, like going from a game to now a game creating tool, like a software to create games?
I
Is that
mean,
the new pivot?
I mean,
That
I think it's safe to say. Listen, I think there was a story on this. I don't think we covered it, but I'm pretty sure someone, or maybe it was Blizzard. I know there was one publisher that was leaving, or one not publisher, but one like kind of important head like guy that was actually leaving their company because of all the changes that were going on. I feel like it might have been Epic, but I'm trying to remember. But like, I mean, I don't know. So if that is the case, I mean, I think it would make sense that it's I think that's what they're kind of trying to turn Fortnite into is just literally like this article is suggesting kind of a Roblox, right? Just
Yeah,
make any
yeah,
game
in a
mode
way.
you want and play it. And I mean, I think it's a fair assumption that this could be the future of Fortnite, Mike. Just hop in, go play cops and robbers. Sure.
Dude, I'm kinda on board
You want to
because
make a Gmod
imagine
theater?
the only
I don't
game
know.
you ever need is Fortnite because they can just create whatever you want.
I mean, yeah, it is one of those things, right? If you want the Fortnite art style, you're kind of married to it, though. I feel like unless they have
That's
like a
true.
way to do your own art, but
I'm sure you could download, like, texture packs and stuff or whatever they do for, like, more modern games, even old school games. You can, like, download little texture packs or, like, graphics, and it'll override and, like, basically paint over the scenery. I know
I
people do
mean,
that with old school Halo with, like, weapon skins. They'll add weapon skins into the game.
yeah. I mean, think about it this way, dude. Minecraft has texture packs. You know what I'm saying? You could ray trace
Yeah,
in Minecraft, Mike.
true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
that's a little. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, yeah, no, there's possibilities, I'm sure. Um, anyways, Fortnite's introduction to mandatory per experience age ratings will coincide with the release of the new parental control options that can be used to universally block islands above a certain rating threshold. Parents can unlock specific islands above that threshold using their PIN, and it'll also be possible to prevent children from designing their own creative mode levels if desired. Eurogamer understands the game's current rating ceiling will not change from content offered at present. Today's news follows last week's I think this was it. So today's news follows last week's admission of Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney that recently growth in Fortnite has been driven primarily by creator content, but that the significant revenue sharing model employed by the company to attract creator interest was a lower margin business than he than we had when Fortnite Battle Royale took off. Sweeney made the comments as part of a lengthy statement attempting to justify Epic's decision to lay off 830 employees, which is nearly 16% of the company.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The game's evolving, and you see these people getting laid off, and then some of the people that were laid off are kind of like, I think it's these business decisions that are kind of the reason why we ended up losing our job. And it's like, I
Yeah,
mean,
that
it's
that
hard to
seems
argue,
to be the
right?
case.
Seems to be the
Yeah.
case. I mean, it's one of those things, it's I mean, there was so much growth from Epic, I'm sure as a whole from Fortnite. I mean, they had Unreal Engine, right? Then you come out with
Dude.
Fortnite, and then Fortnite's literally the biggest thing on the planet. Like, I mean, there's a lot of
Well,
growth there.
like, that's true. People gotta remember too, Epic Games wasn't really small to begin with. I mean, they were kinda
Yeah,
small, but they weren't, like, that small. They're freaking Gears of War, man. That's
literally,
not a
yeah,
small
yeah.
IPA or IP.
Yeah.
IPA. I'm thinking about beer right now. Sorry, guys. Uh, but yeah, like, Epic Games is no joke. So them to have the success with Fortnite and it explode, and you gotta say, Fortnite might never be as big as it ever was. So it kind of makes sense that they're preparing for some type of pivot. And if you could have your cake and eat it too, it seems like you could do the same battle royale that you've always been doing, but then also have like a creator mode within it where people can build their own games. Like that's like big brain right there. Big brain moves.
Yeah. It sure is, man. I have to say. Um, yeah, it'll be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I think to see the future of Fortnite, especially kind of where this is heading, and now like everything within the game is gonna be rated, which I think, which I don't know. Like overall, I think it's great if you're a parent, right? Gives you more control.
Yeah.
Um, but I know you mean the boys have had our discussions about parenting. What's going on in this generation. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into it here, but it's nice to see control for stuff like this, especially around I mean anything on the internet really, but like this especially. I mean, this is a very popular game, so yeah, if they're gonna make these different types of games, there may be something that's just like a straight up horror experience, right, or something like that you don't want kids to necessarily
Yeah.
see. So I think stuff like that is where this is gonna shine really, but yeah, it's cool to see. It makes me wonder how quickly it's going to go through a rating process, right? I mean, I feel like if you're going through all these channels, I feel like it's not going to be like a 1 week thing unless they have some streamlined
No.
process in place. But I mean, there's so many different governing bodies. I feel like it's going to be a while.
Well, they make it sound as if you submit an application, then it automatically will characterize it. And maybe it does that like a preliminary process, but then if it becomes super popular, if like there's a certain amount of people going there and checking it out, like whatever you've created, then it might be have to go through a proper channel and system.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like you basically are just gonna launch like a million indie games within a game to be regulated by how many different
I
systems that
mean,
they named off here? Like a
it's like
lot.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Uh,
5. Like, yeah.
yeah, PEGI, ESRB, USK, and ACB. But it's like they're region specific, so that could happen. I don't know what all the regions are, so I can't even make it up. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like it's crazy.
every region views a specific age rating and like
Yeah.
maturity levels differently.
It's so
Um,
funny seeing Peggy because it immediately makes you think of like Peggy 18. Whenever you see like the feature,
100%,
like
dude.
in my head
Yes,
immediately goes to that voice. It's so good. Oh
dude.
man,
I can't hear like I can't read Peggy without hearing that in
man.
my head. It
Peggy
stands for
16.
Pan European Game Information.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah.
Somewhere
Today I learned.
Brussels.
You know what I'm saying? I was
On
today
this
years
day.
old.
Wait, does that 20 years ago, April 9th, they were founded, 2003. So a
Dang.
little bit after Mortal Kombat, they got to get with the times, dude.
Saying that's where ESRB came in, right? Because it's like
Yeah,
N64 era, right? Whenever those ratings started kicking in. So
ESRB, yeah. ESRB was
yeah,
no joke, man. They came in 1994,
yeah.
and parent organization is Sega. So
Literally, dude. You know what? Mortal Kombat came
who
out.
owns Sega? Like
There's a
Microsoft
lot
now?
of blood, Mortal Kombat. You know, I gotta, I gotta give this thing a rating. You know, can't let the kids play
Yeah,
it.
they're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, now they talk about now anytime something terrible happens in the United States, it's the games.
It's the
It's like,
games. It's the
okay.
shooters.
Yeah.
Unreal. We could go on and on about that, right? Right, Mike?
Yeah,
I mean, we really could.
let's not
But we
even
could
get
also go
started,
on and
dude.
on about Nintendo, which is a great company. You know what I'm saying?
It is. There's something else, man. I like it's so hard to feel a certain way about Nintendo because it's like they got nostalgia out of me. They're like my childhood's Nintendo. But then when you start hearing about what they've done in like Japan and how they treat their workers, you're just like, dang, I don't like Nintendo that
Yeah,
much
right. It's
anymore.
like there's a dark
But
side to everything, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. But then I just watched the Mario movie last night and I'm like, you know what? Nintendo's doing something right here. And then I watched something else and it's like Nintendo's trying to ruin the esports scene for Super Smash and they hate their entire like group. But I mean the melee scene has its own issues. Let's not get into that.
yeah.
But Nintendo, yeah, I mean, but they also created Zelda, dude. You know what I mean? Like
Mario,
Mario,
Bowser. You know what I'm saying?
Pikmin, dude. Pikmin.
Wario, bro, my favorite.
Waluigi. All right, let's Donkey Kong, bro. Donkey Kong is a fire. I wish they gave more Diddy Kong in the Mario movie. Shame on you, Nintendo.
Shame,
Shame.
shame,
But they did show Diddy in his true self, a freaking psychopath.
shame.
Um, let's get into this article. We are talking about Nintendo. It is by Richard Lawler, and it's coming from The Verge. So, Nintendo's Wii U and 3DS online services will shut down in May. The 3DS was discontinued in 2020, but even this shutdown won't stop Street Pass. So next spring, we've actually talked about this a couple of times where Nintendo's been mentioning that they're eventually going to knock it down. And yeah, now it's
Yeah.
finally going to happen. So next spring, Nintendo will shut down the online services behind nearly all of its 3DS and Wii U software, affecting multiplayer and other connected features, according to Nintendo. This also includes online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution. News of this earlier April 2024 shutdown follows the return of online features of the Wii U versions of Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon, which had disappeared between March and August while Nintendo dealt with a vulnerability related to online play. I've always felt like Nintendo never cared about online play, to be
I
honest.
mean, yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of those, like, especially the early games, Nintendo Online, it's like
Yeah.
wasn't the best experience. Let's be honest. You know.
Bro, if you ever played like GameCube online, it was horrid.
I don't even think I tried, bro. I was
Mario
probably too
Kart
young. Like,
Mario Kart Double Dash, I'm definitely like giving a self-report of my age. But I mean, I've talked multiple times about how I play OG Halo on the original Xbox, so that basically puts me in a certain age bracket. uh, all right, anyways, so let's continue on. One service that will continue operating for now is Pokemon Bank, the cloud storage service that launched in 2013 with Pokemon X and Y, although you may want to transfer the collection to the newer Pokemon Home setup. And gaming offline is still possible. Also, this FAQ from Nintendo says that players will be able to download patches and re-download games purchased from the eShop for the foreseeable future. eShop sales of Wii U and 3DS games ended in March of this year. That's pretty much where we got the original
Yeah.
update. I think it was like last year, at the end of last year, Nintendo announced they were going to eventually take off the eShop sales for Wii U and 3DS, and then they would eventually take off multiplayer altogether for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if this article, which is kind of lengthy, but I want to know if they actually mention alternatives to online. And if they don't, then I'm going to try to give a little bit of a plug of what people can use. So there's no specific date listed for the shutdown yet. And Nintendo's FAQ also mentions that if an event occurs that would make it difficult to continue online services for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software, we may have to discontinue services earlier than planned. Maybe a
That's
new Nintendo Switch 2 might be coming out and ruin the servers.
I don't know. They need that space, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, they're just like,
Oh.
yo, it's gonna shut down in April, but I mean, like, we might launch something in May. You know?
It makes you wonder why. It's like it's kind of an interesting sentence, right? It's like we may
It is
have to
very
discontinue them earlier because like it could be difficult to keep like afloat. And you're just like,
Like, what's
I mean,
changing?
wait, you have server space, I would imagine, right? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, what's happening, man?
What's going on?
So,
It's very little sus, but you know what?
very sauce.
But
All right, let's continue. A couple more. Spot Pass features are also going away, but Nintendo says that Street Pass links between 3DS family systems will continue to work anywhere you can find someone else who has one, even after the servers go away. This planned early April 2024 shutdown will occur just over 10 years after the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection service went offline, ending online services for Nintendo's Wii and DS titles in 2014.
dang, I didn't realize that was 10 years ago. What
Ba-ba-da-dum.
the? My
Jeez.
goodness. Do you remember? Do you remember the DS? Like, I don't even know if you could still do it, but like you could connect DSs and have that chat room, the Picto chat or whatever. You
Yes.
remember that? Dude,
Yeah, I
used to
remember
love that.
I saw a couple of funny things where people are holding up a Nintendo 3DS and they're like at a concert
Yeah.
venue, like film it, like,
And
like
they
just
show it later, and it just looks like crap. Oh, dude.
oh yeah, dude, it's so
Uh,
stupid, but it's just hilarious.
it really is.
But I want to give like a quick little thing to people that are worried that the 3DS and Wii U and stuff like that is no longer going to be on the internet. I'm actually let me see if I can start it right now. They have something called X-Link Kai, and it's something that I used 15 years ago. And I'm opening it up right now. And let me see if they actually have Nintendo. So they have the Wii, the Wii U, and I don't. There's GameCube on this list, and basically, I'm listing the systems. They have PSP as well, which is pretty sick. Uh, yeah, okay. So the Wii U seems to be the only one that pertains to this article, but also the Wii. And the idea is that you can spoof the connection if you connect those devices to your router, your computer. You can use your computer as the internet server that it connects to, and then you can play peer to peer with other people, which is pretty sick. So like you can do this with Xbox Live. Like instead of using Xbox Live, you can use X-Link. That's how I play when I'm playing on the original Xbox with my friends. They all live like all across the country, so we'll all link up on X-Link, and you go to System Link instead of like connect to Xbox Live to play,
Yeah,
and it just shows all the servers as if you're all in the same house playing on like the local router, like a LAN network.
that's what's up, right there.
So I didn't see 3DS. But I did see the Wii. I saw the Wii U. Um, I'm sure the Nintendo community is pretty solid with creating mods. Shout out to the guys that are making crazy GameCube controllers. But
True.
yeah, maybe something can happen with the 3DS.
Yeah, I know. I know if you decide to go like an emulator route, I know Dolphin has like the
Facts.
they have a nice little kind of online thing. I think my experience has been kind of hit or miss with it, so you know, just fair warning if anyone decides to go with that route. But I mean, there's also like I mean, if you host, there's also like a service called like Parsec. I don't know if you like messed around with Parsec at all ever. Um, but essentially it's just like a kind of a screen share kind of thing. But I think it's sort of tailored to gamers, so it's supposed to be like low latency screen sharing, so that
Oh,
like someone
cool.
can join up, connect the controller, and then play a game with you. as if they
Oh,
were
that's
using
sick.
their PC. So that stuff's pretty cool. I've heard a good success that a lot of people using a service like that. So there's definitely ways I think around kind of that stuff if you wanted to do like a sort of like a X-Link Kai, whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
there's alternatives out there, I think. But yeah,
Well, that's definitely good to know. And it's not all doom and gloom. The servers can be taken down by the official publishers and developers, manufacturers, but fans will find out a way, man.
I mean
And
for real, yeah.
the cool thing about the internet is there's always other people that are interested in what you're interested in. So you can go find them, be a part of a community, and then like start playing games together again. You know?
Literally, dog.
Yeah. That's why some games don't die. That's really why. People just
It's
afraid to
facts.
let it go.
We
But
don't
you
want to
know
let
what
it
else?
go.
What I don't even know how to do the pivot. But the segue, because like it threw me off. I opened up the article, and in the title it says pivot. So I was like, "Oh crap!" I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Don't make fun of me, bro.
I mean, my brain would do a full pivot too, so I don't blame you. Listen, we got an article from Forbes, Mike. You know what it's like
Yeah.
when we get an article from Forbes?
It's always about business decisions and somebody getting cooked.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty significant, right? I think a lot of these.
Yes, sir.
I certainly trust Forbes. Like, if a gaming article hits Forbes, like I get it. They have kind of a gaming. They have gaming pundits, I guess you can call them. Beat writers. They have a lot of that. But I feel like unless it's like a big story, we oftentimes find our sources elsewhere, be it The Verge, be it Eurogamer, be it GameSpot, whatever.
Yes.
So we have a pretty good one from Paul Tassi over at Forbes today. He said insiders say that PlayStation's live service pivot may not be going well. Oh my! I'll talk about
No, you don't say. You don't say.
All right. So, in the wake of the Jim Ryan era of PlayStation, while he leaves behind a successful PS5 and a string of expectedly good first-party releases, attention now turns to Sony's stated super investment in live service games. Previously, they revealed it would be 60% of their spending as opposed to 40% going into their trademark single-player games, and they have at least a dozen titles in the works. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier is reporting that insiders are concerned about the company's vision going forward, where things are spread out between, quote, seemingly misplaced bets on service games, along with PSVR 2 and PlayStation Portal, both relative niche pieces of hardware.
Yep.
You don't say. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like we've been saying it, dude.
You don't
this whole
say.
time.
Everybody, it's like it's things.
Where's the
everybody's
Pikachu?
Been saying. Like,
where's that Pikachu like shocked meme? We're just Pika.
I mean, come on. All right. So, Sony currently has most of its big budget studios working on multiplayer live service games in one form or another, including Naughty Dog, Insomniac.
Who's having layoffs?
Who's having layoffs? Insomniac, who, I don't know, after Spider-Man 2, I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Guerrilla, The Last of Us, Spider-Man Horizon fame, respectively. We already know about Naughty Dog's Last of Us Factions game, when that an additional report said that new hire Bungie believed it wasn't up to par when they surveyed the game's progress recently. I mean, Bungie saying that, like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's rough.
I forgot about Marathon. Holy crap!
Yeah, Marathon.
Got good games coming, dude.
Yeah, because this is the thing. That's one of their upcoming service games, right? Is Marathon. Like, it's kind of like
they're putting all their eggs in that.
It's their new IP, right? I mean, they need something after Destiny, so it's kind of like current live service behemoth Destiny 2, Marathon and Destiny 2, neither of which PlayStation exclusives, even though Bungie is owned by Sony. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny 2, I mean, I won't go too much of a ramble, but I mean, there's still a very much dedicated player base to Destiny 2.
Oh, yeah.
To this day.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
So,
how many times have you and I talked about how great that game is in terms of optimization?
I mean, yeah.
It's like, it's
Fantastic.
phenomenal.
Especially when it first came out, it was impressive.
Dude, so good.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's, a lot of stuff going on. There was apparently, I have a buddy that's super into Destiny 2 still, and he was sending me stuff about like, there was, I think, specific things in the game that were clearly broken, but there was rumors going around in the community that it may have been like on purpose to potentially try like get people back and just have fun in the game, because it was kind of I think there's a little while where it was kind of stale. There was a lot of that stuff going around, which I thought was hilarious. Anyways, yeah, I mean, talking about Bungie, you got these big service games coming out. The goal, of course, is to get live service games to print money indefinitely with recurring spending on seasons and microtransactions, as opposed to one-and-done single-player games that, at best, have a DLC or two. Of course, Sony's very obvious strength lies in these acclaimed single-player games, and these insider reports are questioning the enormous live service pivot, even if single-player games will still be produced. I mean, I think it's fair to be like, what's going on? Because because we said it too, their first party is their bread and butter. It's always been Sony's bread and butter, but now they're falling behind when it comes to just like services and all that. I could see in one aspect why they would want to push service more, because it's definitely their weak point. They don't have like they're saying kind of those big like, money printers that some of these live service games can be. So I mean, I can see that, but also at the same time, it's like you definitely don't want to lose your first party, right? I will say like something like Naughty Dog with Last of Us. It has been 3 years since Last of Us Part 2 came out, and I feel like by 2020, probably like into 2021, 2022 was probably when they wanted that Factions to come out, and then now it's plagued with delays. There's more layoffs. Who knows what that means for Factions? Like, is it going to take longer to come out? Like, are they almost done, and that's why they're laying people off? We just don't know. Regardless, there's nothing to say that just because a company makes great single-player games that they'll be able to turn that talent into compelling live service offerings, even with a guru like Bungie on board. In fact, the opposite is more likely to be true. We have seen this play out multiple times in the industry. BioWare moved away from Mass Effect to make Anthem. That failed, so now they're back to Mass Effect. Crystal Dynamics moved away from Tomb Raider to make Marvel's Avengers. That failed, so now they're back on Tomb Raider.
Are they though? Because they laid off, like, Crystal Dynamics basically started gutting the team that's working on Tomb Raider. Remember that? Like 3 weeks ago, I talked about how Crystal Dynamics was doing layoffs. Now I'm concerned about Tomb Raider. And then the next week, they were like, we're laying off part of the team that's making Tomb Raider. It's like, what the fuck?
What? Like, what?
Help!
You get this, though. Gearbox moved away from Borderlands to make Battleborn. That failed, so now they're back on Borderlands. And I'm pretty sure we're getting a Borderlands 4. It's like in the works. There's a movie coming out next year. So, are you sensing a pattern here, Mike? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sensing panic that we've been calling and raving about for the last like 2 years. And now it's like finally coming to the forefront of, I think, the mainstream media.
Yeah.
That just PlayStation and Sony are behind.
Yeah. I think if anything, it just proves how difficult it is to make a consistent live service game, and how you really have to have good execution, because if it fails to launch, there's like really no recovery, right? Like if it's dead when it launches, it's like, good luck. But even if these upcoming offerings stay within the world of these games, i.e. The Last of Us, there are zero guarantees of quality or positive reception, despite whatever talented studio is on board. The most popular multiplayer games have either been doing multiplayer forever, COD, CSGO, Dota, League of Legends. I say CSGO, but it's really just Counter-Strike. It's kind of the broad stroke. Or sprang out of relatively nowhere, which is Fortnite, PUBG, Tarkov, Apex. Why are we talking about Apex?
Yeah, I was I was really wondering. I was like, why would you not mention Apex? That dropped without any announcement or teaser at all.
And it was fire, you understand?
Yeah.
Even Bungie cultivated Destiny from Halo DNA, a series that always had compelling single-player and multiplayer portions. I know Mike can attest to this wholeheartedly. It does. Those first 3 games.
Yep.
Taking these largely single-player studios and forcing them to do something that they've really never done in any significant capacity does not seem like a recipe for success. Diverting resources from likely successful single-player projects to chase a live server stream that does seem like a bubble that's about to burst. Or that burst has already happened, based on the failed titles that Paul has mentioned. And I think, much. Paul said he does not predict great things for PlayStation's live service plans, and it appears he's not alone. And like I think much of people are reporting, it's like, it's very very pessimistic outlook, I think, for most people on PlayStation trying to go into live service anyway.
Yeah, I think I think this article is kind of, I don't want to say like a monumental kind of thing, but I find it to be important because it's on Forbes, and they're finally saying the quiet bit out loud. Like Sony, they don't have the live service games. They don't have really a live streaming service that's up to snuff, at least against Xbox.
Yeah.
They're so far behind on the against the Xbox Game Pass, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they catch up anytime soon.
I mean,
Microsoft is so far ahead that they're giving live service, like live streaming services from Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft, a company that is literally putting all their eggs in Assassin's Creed Mirage right now. And
and Star Wars.
also in Star Wars. And from what we heard right before we started recording, Mirage ain't that good,
Yeah,
apparently.
that's what I've heard from some.
That's
sources.
early impressions.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
I've heard it's kind of, I'm gonna wait to see more reviews, of course, but I think it's I don't know, it's looking pretty bland for the new Assassin's Creed release. Which I will say, I mean, this is kind of in defense, but like kind of not an excuse. Like from what I understood, Mirage was supposed to be kind of the appetizer to what the next Assassin's Creed kind of leap is going to be, and like their kind of story and like where they're taking the game, because there's a lot. Because I mean, we talk about there's a lot going into Star Wars, but I do believe like the next couple, like at least the next Assassin's Creed title is supposed to be some huge kind of ambitious thing from what I've heard. So I try not to defend it, but it's kind of how it comes off. But I mean, just to hear that it's not that good is kind of a disappointment, because I loved the old style Assassin's Creed, and just to hear that it may not be what people are expecting is a little unfortunate. But I don't know. We'll have more. I mean, the game comes out. I mean, the game is out at the time of releasing this episode, so maybe there's more people kind of talking about it. I'd be curious to kind of read more about it over the weekend and everything. But it's it's looking kind of crazy. I mean, Ubisoft's in there, but I mean, think about PlayStation 2, right? It's like they're behind on services and everything, but they've just made very questionable hardware decisions, especially this year. And it's like, I feel like this is probably a good reason why Jim Ryan's kind of just like, I don't know if I'm necessarily like fit to kind of try and steer the ship. And it's probably he's probably being overworked, and he's having to make 50 million decisions that it's probably no one man should make. So it's kind of just like maybe time to back up.
I mean, I don't want to speculate on what he does entirely, because it's not really just one person steering the ship. Even though they're the CEO, they have a team around him, and they also have like a board of directors that's dictating what he has to do. And that's like high level CEO business stuff, But in terms of the company as a whole, we can be a little bit more generic. Like PlayStation's just, I gotta tell you, the only reason to buy a PS5 in my mind is for the first party studios. And what do you got? Like Last of Us, Spider-Man, Horizon would be kind of cool. I don't really care too much for it, Horizon, but those two alone would make me really enticed to go out there and go get a PS5. Whereas if you compare that with something like Nintendo Switch, you get to play like all the past Nintendo games, like right off the bat. I think their IPs are better than all the PlayStation ones. I know that's a hot take, because the PlayStation ones are a little bit more mature and they're a little bit better graphics, some like good stories, but to me it's like the nostalgia of Nintendo and just like the feel of Nintendo, and more of like a party game. Everybody can enjoy it, everybody can play, whereas PlayStation, you might need a little bit more experience playing games. It's not very intuitive sometimes.
Kid friendly,
and
probably not.
kid friendly, family friendly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo knows what it is. I don't think PlayStation knows what it is anymore. I think they lost the plot. And I think if you compare PlayStation with Xbox, the two consoles, you have more opportunities to do what you want to do with the Xbox console. Like you got the Game Pass, and most of the games are also on PC. Some like they have way more indie developers that are being promoted by the publishers, Microsoft Studios, to like get on there for free. And like they put them on Game Pass too, and you can turn your Series S or X into an emulation machine for $20 single payment and a USB hard drive, like plug-in, and then all of a sudden you can play every game before 2005 with like modern hardware. It's like you can't really do that with PlayStation, I just I feel like they're too far behind now. I mean, they make great hardware. They have the best controllers in my opinion. That's what I prefer when I'm playing shooters. I play Halo with a PS5 controller, so it's like I'm not hating the hardware. I'm hating their decisions. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could agree with that. I think it's yeah, it's just it's so questionable for PlayStation. I'm like trying to kind of think about what they could possibly do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they were able to dip their feet into the PC market, I think a little quicker than just like waiting a year or two down the line for a lot of the first party titles, I think it could certainly, potentially kind of help. I mean, if they, I don't know how the deals and stuff work, but I mean, I think getting you get the game in front of more people. I mean, I get there's a lot of PlayStations in the wild, a lot of people that do play on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But for someone like me, it's like, I have this great PC, and it's like I feel like it's getting harder and harder for me to justify going out and getting a PlayStation. Especially with the rumors of a PS5 Pro kind of on the horizon. So it's
True.
yeah, and we'll see. I'll definitely reevaluate then, but yeah, man, it's one of those things. I really wish I was playing Spider-Man 2 this month. I'll say that. Like, it's a game, I really want to check out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so who knows, man? I
But
may be
not
more
enough to go get a PS5,
right. I mean, it's hard for it's hard for me, and I think nowadays games can't necessarily sell me on an ecosystem. Like, if this game comes out, it's like, oh yeah, it's a great game. Like, last God of War came out just over a year ago now. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a great game, but it's like, I mean, I know it's going to come out on PC, and it's like, I mean, albeit it's a great game, it's like not really, it's still not enticed to go out and buy a PS5, Like,
No, not really.
I mean, it's one of those things I definitely want to check out these games eventually. And also, I'm a little spiteful, Mike, I ain't gonna lie, because Days Gone was a fantastic game. A lot of people
Yeah.
dogged it when it first came out. I understand it had a very slow start. I agree, but
True.
it was one of my favorite games that came out on the PS4. And it's like, then when they came out and said, "No, we ain't working on Days Gone 2 because you guys gave us no love on the first one," kind of thing. It's what the publisher pretty much said. It's like, it's just it hurts my heart.
Yeah,
Ben
I
Studio,
get it. That's
you hurt my heart.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
unfortunate. But I mean,
capitalistic thing, right? Like, you got to sell
yeah,
in
and
order to
that's
justify
kind
the
of,
funding.
and I think that was a lot of the thing about why investors and stuff in the board of directors and stuff like that at Ben were kind of just like, yeah, we don't want to do that again because it just wasn't as successful, especially initially. So unfortunate. I wish that was a series that continued because if I'm not mistaken, I think it kind of ended on like it set up a sequel. But anyway, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I think PlayStation will be okay. They have a really popular like Call of Duty market, really popular Madden market, NBA 2K, stuff like that.
Right.
Sport games. So they're gonna be okay. But I mean, like, if you want to get into this live service, battle royale, competitive driven games where you need people making that type of money and like always contributing to the machine, making it go, like this live service stuff. It seems to be like the whole business model now. I feel like you gotta have that PlayStation. Yeah, have to have the PlayStation and PC coincide to get as many people to play as possible because that's how live service are popular. It's like it's a population driven genre.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you need people to play. That's why Anthem collapsed on itself. You know?
Game released like poop.
Yeah.
People did not want to play the poop.
Nope. So they stopped playing altogether and they did
Stop
not
playing.
come back.
Yep.
They didn't come back. Bro, like when Forza Horizon 3 came out, and that's kind of a live service game. It's on Game Pass. I played that for like a couple of weeks. The servers were trash. I couldn't play with my buddy. He stopped playing. He has not played the game since. And then because of that, I'm like, well, do I want to get on and just like try to get my car ranked up and then play online and grind and then I have to deal with people that just want to wreck me? I'm like, it's a hassle, you know?
That's the worst, right? You're playing a game and then it gets to the point where you're just like, it's not worth
It's
it.
a job.
That's like when it's just not worth it. It's the worst feeling, man.
Bro, it's like me playing Diablo 4 trying to get my freaking mount. It took me like 30 hours walking around the world. Oh my
man.
gosh. I actually need to
Oh.
beat that game before the next season comes out.
Oh yeah,
But
it's coming
yeah,
up.
that's
Dude.
a goal.
It's coming up, brother.
Yeah, but you know what else is coming up? Should we switch up topics?
Think so.
I think. All right, so what we like to do at the start of every month, and this is going to be published on what, Kyle? The 6th?
It sure is.
October 6th. So it's going to be basically a week into the October video game releases. Now, let me go over here and pull up my handy dandy list. Oh, you pulled. Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to go out of order, though.
That's fine.
I was about to go
I'll
out of
jump
order.
around.
Okay.
See, the thing, the people game ranks, they have a They use the chapters, the wonderful feature in YouTube.
They do.
So.
See, I like to put the game releases. He has a top 15. It is Falcon is his name. So I think you should just let the video play, and I'll just kind of talk over it. But basically, what it is he does a top 10 or top 15 every month of the newest games coming out, and he usually hits all the popular ones. And occasionally, I'll pull it up, and then I'll add a couple of more in. But I've been watching game ranks for the last like 5 years, I think, very long time. Highly recommend for anybody that's watching this on YouTube, go check them out. So let's get into it. Plenty of games coming out for this month. At the start of the month, October 4th. So by the time you guys hear this, the next 3 games are already out. So you got Hellboy, Web of Wired, and that's PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. Then you have Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is what we were talking about earlier. Hopefully that turns out to be good. Detective Pikachu returns, which is pretty sick. And that's going to be on Switch. I got to watch the movie again, man. Big fan of that.
Oh yeah.
So then we switch up for October 10th, a game I previously mentioned, Forza Motorsport PS, Xbox Series X and S. Then we have Lords of the Fallen PS5, Xbox Series X and S on PC as well. So all the major titles in PC. Lords of the Fallen looks like crazy, dude. Wild. Yeah. That one's coming out October 13th. Good to check out. Oh, I got my stuff out of order. My bad. The one for October 11th, PC only, Total War Pharaoh, which I think is a DLC for Total War. Might be, correct me if I'm wrong. Total War is Total War, basically. Like Total War
I don't think there's too much to say about Total War. It's kind of just, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and then a game that you're excited for that will not be something that you go buy because you don't have a PS5 is Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man 2 comes out October 20th. Dude, I rushed through this. And then we also have Sonic Superstars, October 17th, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X and S, and Switch.
That's a game.
Bro, and then we finally got a new Super Mario game. So that's coming October 20th, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And that is like old school classic play. Dude, have you seen they make old school like Nintendo controllers that will work with all modern hardware? It's like retro RGB. You actually sent me the link, I think, at once.
Yeah, I think it's it might be the it might be who I'm thinking of, but yeah, they make if it's who I'm thinking of, they make a lot of controllers. I'm blanking out on the name myself. I don't even remember, but they make like
Switch.
Yeah, they make a lot of that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. Switch also has first party like throwback controllers as well. Yeah. Another cool game is Cities Skyline 2, October 24th. This is the second sequel.
I'm gonna send this one
to kind of redundant. That's the sequel to the first one.
I'm gonna have to send this to our tall boy Crazy Miller, friend of the show.
Oh yeah, dude, I've sent him the videos plenty of times. Like you can add mods to the original one, and it's really really cool. I love dude. I'll sit down like when I'm doing laundry and cleaning up the house or whatever, and I'll put this on the background. They have some music mix, and it's just kind of therapeutic to watch somebody design an entire city. So to see the sequel come out, that's gonna be pretty interesting. That's on all the new titles, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Then we have Dark Envoy on the same day. That's on PC. I don't know anything about Dark Envoy, to be honest.
I don't think I do either. Looking at some gameplay, though, nice little turn-based, a little, like,
RPG?
What is it? Tactical maybe? RPG? I don't know what they call them. The tactical... I can't think of the genre. I know what it is, but it's like, I think it's it's tactical something. Tactical something. Anyways, Dark Envoy, tactical something.
All right, tactical something. So let's actually look it up.
The genre.
Adventure, strategy, video game, action, roleplay, RPG, adventure with tactical, real-time combat, and online co-op.
Yeah, there's some engrossing term, but I can't even think of it right now. That kind of defines that genre, but yeah.
Well, next title is Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. I don't think that really needs any introduction, to be honest. If you don't know Metal Gear Solid by now, I don't know what to tell you. That's October 24th. Then October 26th, you have Ghost Runner 2. That's on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And then a game that I know you are very excited for is Alan Wake 2. So that's PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S.
Man.
That's October 27th. Pretty much the last 3 of these, it's October 27th or the end of the month. You have EA Sports UFC 5, Lord of the Rings Return in Moria, which I want to check out. It looks kind of interesting. And then Jusant, is that how you say it? Jusant?
Jusant?
I think it's Jusant. That's on PC,
Oh, yeah,
PS5,
I remember
Xbox
seeing,
Series X and S.
I remember seeing the
Yeah,
trailer
it's
for this.
the one, the rock climbing one. It looks
Yeah,
kind of therapeutic, man. It reminds me
I,
of
it's true.
like the ocean exploration kind of games. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
what's it
that's a good
called?
point.
Deep Blue or something? I don't know. Uh,
Oh, Abzu, isn't that the sequel?
yes,
Abzu. It's like I see the cover art for that. It's kind of like the
I think so.
underwater diver.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't know. There's also a game coming out too from out of Xbox where it's like you're underwater in a submarine or whatever. You're trapped or something like that. It's like a
Yeah.
very kind of
It looks kind
mental.
of like mental thriller.
Yeah,
Like,
kind of like that.
yeah.
You go into psychosis when you're.
Suspense.
Yeah, so yeah, probably like suspense. Like you go into legit psychosis. You're stuck in a tube under miles deep in the ocean. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
What do you
nice.
think it
Yeah.
does to one psyche?
Definitely messes you up. For sure. Claustrophobia.
It all sets in. Oh man,
Oh my
dude, I
gosh.
will say Alan Wake 2. These impressions got me kind of lit, Mike. Almost
Yeah,
say.
dude, you've been very excited about that, and I'm looking forward to you playing that game.
That's gonna be
You've been
good.
waiting for it for like a while, man. I haven't seen you that
For sure,
excited in
man.
a while.
I mean, this is the thing, dude. It's Alan Wake. Like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people just didn't really understand the first game, or they were kind of just they brushed off. It's like, like it's it wasn't really horror. It was kind of like thriller with kind of slight aspects of horror. So I think this one's leaning into that horror a little bit more, which I'm totally into. But I mean, it just looks like I just have a feeling like this game, especially where technology's going, kind of where they're pivoting with this game in terms of like gameplay.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be, dare I say, better than the first. It could be,
I mean, there's only one way to find out. You got to play it when it comes out, dude.
for sure. End of the month, baby. And now until then, I got Cyberpunk, Starfield. Could have Spider-Man 2,
Nice.
but ain't got a console. I got a scratch. You understand me?
All right, man. I think that basically covers up this week's episode. We're on episode 39, season 4, bro. I'm pretty sure we've hit every single week of this year so far.
No,
Does that sound right?
we did not.
We missed like the first week or two of January.
Well, obviously,
Holidays.
I mean that's our sabbatical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we missed the there was something that happened at the end of February, Mike. I don't know if you remember. But we all met up and we were all in the Queen City, just chilling. So,
But I thought we did an episode though.
we did not. We were going to do an in-person episode. That would have been crazy. I kind of just spoiled it.
Yeah,
but
we
yeah,
threw that
that
away,
would be
didn't we?
kind
Yeah.
of nuts. But yeah, I think the pressure made us all crack. So it's just like let's hold off.
Yeah, true. But I mean, so far so good, I think. And yeah.
Look, consistency. Look, you get an episode every week, and if we don't check out Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Check it out.
Start yelling at us.
For real.
We've been posting segments too that have been kind of popping off. We've gotten a couple of followers going on YouTube. And for anybody that's listening, like, subscribe, comment below, let us know what your thoughts are. We've been seeing comments and thoughts and like let us know what's up. A couple of people correcting us, a couple of people adding more context. Been
Amen.
very helpful.
We're always here
Very
for you. You know
helpful.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always here for it.
We're probably gonna get some fire off of the PlayStation hot takes though. PlayStation fans go hard, man.
Look,
Go
man,
real hard.
I'm just we all want PlayStation to succeed. It's just there's been some missteps. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, like no Sony TV with a PlayStation in it.
one of
day,
many,
dude.
huh? One of many.
Yeah. That's the one that kills me every time I see it. We cover Sony so many times, and every time there's not an announcement about the damn TV, and it upsets me. And I might be going a little bit hard on like Sony specifically because of that. And if they're having such a hard time, insiders say PlayStation Live service pivot may not be going well. Bro, I got a pivot for you. TVs. What are you doing? You make them. Add a PlayStation. What's wrong? So, anyways,
Yeah.
I digress though. Shall we let the people go? The
I think we should.
timestamps of everything we've covered are below. We have tiny URL links to the original articles that we've covered. we try to give shout outs. We try to give like sources and names and stuff like that. We're just trying to react to it, give our like feedback of what we think, reactionary content in a way. We're on every audio platform you could possibly think of, and YouTube. We're on Spotify video. Come check us out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You got anything to add, Kyle? Or you good?
Shit, dude. Listen, it's a big month for gaming. All right, go play some games.
It is.
Good stuff
Seriously.
coming out this month.
As always, play games.
Play games. Game daily. Some may say.
Yeah.
You know, you got time for it.
All right, new catchphrase. Game daily. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's the M2 Podcast. I'm Michael Anthony. It's Kyle Heath. We'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.